Hi, y'all. So it's Katie. We are going to do kind of what we did in class today, just running through the process of starting a new project on Replit and then creating a script, a Python script, um, within that project to then run, and it will be everything that you need for Lab 0. Obviously minus the VS Code portion, which, as I mentioned in class, if you'd like to proceed with that step and feel comfortable with downloading VS Code and testing it all yourself, go ahead. You'll be ahead of the game. If not, we will tackle that next week. So don't stress about it. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and redo what we did in class earlier today. So I am going to start by creating a replit, and I'm going to use a Python template, just the basic one, nothing special. And I'm going to name it my last name, Tracy underscore IT 145. You can name it your last name underscore IT 145. The project name itself doesn't really matter that much to me. What I mostly care about naming convention wise is what you name these scripts, which I will show you next. So once I have that title there and the Python template selected, and you can just have it be public unless you happen to pay for the private core portion, but that's okay. We're just going to click create replit, and it should open up this page. So it'll generate the main.py, and it also brings up a tab for the assistant. I just close that up right away, and all I have here is my main.py. So before I do anything in my main.py, um, I'm going to create a file that I'm going to write my Lab0 script in. So I'm going to go down here to File and click it, and I'm going to name my lab script Tracy underscore Lab 0. Yours will be whatever your last name is, underscore Lab0.py. I'm going to press enter and it will open up this tab next to main.py, and it'll be empty because we haven't written anything yet. So here, let's write some stuff before we can execute anything, right? So what I mentioned in class is that I would like for all of your labs, all of your projects, any code that you write, I want a header block comment, just indicating your name, what the project or lab is, and a like short description of what the script does. And then if there are any reflection questions that I ask you to answer in the lab, you can put them in this block comment as well. And as I mentioned, the block comments in Python are denoted with some quotes. So there's 3 single quotes, and this particular editor will kind of auto finish the closing set of quotes for you. So I just typed the first 3, but after I did that, it auto like finished this last 3. So my block comment will be within this set of 3 and this set of 3. So whenever I create a block comment, I have it generate the beginning and closing portion of the comment and then kind of add a couple lines between them so that I have space to write my comment. So I'm going to put in that this is Lab 0 for the course IT 145, and I'm going to put our CRN, but you don't have to. This is just for me to keep track of what I'm doing as I teach each class semester to semester. You can be as specific as you'd like, but at the very least, I want you to say that this is for Lab 0. I'm going to say that the author is me, obviously. So I'm going to put my name here. You'll put yours. And the date, or some programming languages like to say version. I do that sometimes because it's a Java-ism, but in Python it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say date and then today's date, which is the 8th. And I don't know why it's auto suggesting 2020 and like some other name. I don't know what that's about, but I'm just gonna keep trucking along. So we've got the title, author, date, and a short description. And this script is going to print some messages, and we will be declaring some, oh, hello. I don't know why that came up. Anyways, the script is going to print some messages and declare some variables. Then we will print those variables in a meaningful way. So there's my description. And then I'm going to leave some space for my reflection questions, which the first one is explaining the differences between Replit and VS Code, but we're gonna omit that since some of you may or may not be able to move on to that portion. So I'm gonna skip it and not grade it. So I just care about questions 2 and 3, which question 2 is related to the different variable types in Python. So I'd like these to be in complete sentences. So I'm going to start this out. It is important to understand different variable types in Python because, and then you will finish the rest. And then the last question I am asking is about the errors you encounter as you do this lab. So I would start this out with, I encountered errors during blah, 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 what the errors were and when they happened. And I solved them by blah, blah, blah. So that's all I want in the header comment at the top. So now we're going to come down below that comment, and we're going to start creating an outline for the Lab 0 requirement. So Lab 0 asks us to print a welcome message. Then it asks us to declare variables for name, age, and favorite number. And then it asks us to, okay, I just used autocorrect or auto generate to finish that for me. Basically, I want to print a message with using these variables. So that's kind of my section for that. And then lastly, I want to play with the type function in Python, which I didn't get a chance to talk about in class. So that's why we're going to spend some time on it here with this video. So starting with this first part where we're printing a welcome message. I, according to the lab requirements, I want it to say hello, comma, and then your name. So whatever your personal name is, that is what you will put. Since my name is Katie, I will say welcome, or I guess I'll say hello, Katie, exclamation point. And make sure that that statement is one within the parentheses and two within either these double quotes, or you could do single quotes. Python lets you do either. I will probably do double quotes because that's what Java does, and that's just what I'm most used to. So, first part of the lab is just print a welcome message. Line 13 does just that. So that part is done. Next, I want to declare variables for a name, age, and favorite number. So I'm going to say name, which is the name of my variable, and it is a string data type, which, as I mentioned here, is kind of enclosed by those double quotes or single quotes, depending on what you prefer. So my name is Katie. You would do your name. Then you would do age, which auto suggest is telling me to put it in a string, but I don't want a string. I want your age to be an integer, so a whole number. So to do that, I would just simply say 30, which is my personal age. You would do your age, um, without the double quotes around it. This name equals Katie within the double quotes is saying that name is a string data type and age equals just the number 30 with no double quotes is assigning an integer to the age variable. And lastly, I want to have a variable for my favorite number, which your favorite number very well is likely a whole number or an integer, but I want y'all to be exposed to float data types, which is basically any decimal number. So I am going to say that my favorite number is 12.0. So we have our variables declared for name, which I have set equal to Katie. Age is set equal to 30, the integer 30. And then fave number is set equal to the float value of 12.0. And then our next step wants us to print a message with our name, age, and favorite number variables. So I am going to start with a print statement for printing my name. And I want the output to look a certain way. It explains it in the Lab0 description, but I will show you. So we're going to use the um, F string version of printing, like formatting in Python. There are a bajillion ways to print things in Python, which is a blessing and a curse. Um, but for the time being, we're just going to use this version that I am about to show you. So we've got our print statement, and this auto suggestion is kind of annoying, but I'm going to ignore it because I want to do my own thing. So I'm going to say print F, lowercase f. I don't want any of this stuff. Um, so I'm just going to ignore it and keep typing. Um, I want print F and then double quotes. And I want to just print that my name is, And then I want to reference the name variable. I don't want to do what I did up here where I type the literal like word Katie. I want to use this variable as a placeholder within the print statement. And that is done in the way with this F string version. We're going to say, my name is, and in curly braces, I'm just going to put my name variable reference. So I'm within the double quotes, I'm saying my name is, and then I'm referencing name, which I have assigned Katie to. So in theory, when I run my program, it will print my name is Katie because it will look in memory and look for the name variable, find out what is assigned to it, and then input that data into the placeholder here. So that is how you do that first statement for printing the name. Now I want to do the age. So I'm going to go about it the same way. I'm going to say print, and then in those parentheses, F double quotes, I am, within the curly braces, I'm going to say age. And then after age, I'm going to put a space and say years old. And I really don't like this auto generation. I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn that off. But lastly is this favorite number statement. So same old thing, print parentheses, F double quotes. My favorite number is curly braces. And within those curly braces, I want fave number. And then I'm just going to throw a period at the end of these strings. So basically what we've done in these three print statements is we've built a string to be outputted onto our console. Um, so like we did here, where we just simply threw literal strings into the print statement, here we're using the print F string function to, I guess you would say, concatenate or kind of build a string using the literal string and words of my name is and our variables. Um, all languages have special syntax or ways that it's supposed to look. And you'll get errors if you're missing a double quote or if you're missing another curly brace. Um, so just keep an eye out for that. Make sure that you are closing everything up and everything matches, and you should avoid a lot of errors that way. So that is the majority of the lab, but the last thing that I want you to do with this lab is play with the type function in Python. So to do that, I just want to see y'all using it a little bit. So for example, I am going to write a print statement that is going to say the type of name, or the type, let me be more specific. The type of my name variable is, and see, it's already auto suggesting this, which is nice. So within curly braces, similar to how I did up here, within the curly braces, instead of just name, I am using this type function and giving it my name variable. So, oops, there we go. So this print statement will say the type of my name variable is, and then whatever the type of it is, which, as I mentioned, should be a string, right? Because that's what we've assigned to the name variable. And likewise with age, if I were to do this for the age variable, let's say, oh my gosh, the type of my age variable is type age. And we mentioned that age is an integer, so I should see that it prints integer. And lastly, we'll do the type of my fave number variable is type fave number, which, as I mentioned, should be a float or some say double. I'll probably interchange those. They're technically different, but in general, it's just a decimal number. Um, okay, so this is all of the code that should be written in theory for Lab 0. If you want to play around with it more and write more code, feel free, but this is the bare minimum. This is just what I expect you to do. And then to actually run this, I want y'all to go into your main script on the side here, and you're going to import your Lab 0 script. So in main.py, I am just typing import space and then the name of my Lab 0 script without the .py. So don't put .py, just Tracy or whatever your last name is underscore Lab 0. And then I'm going to double check this, make sure there's no errors, which are usually indicated by squiggly red lines. And I'm going to run it. Yay. So step by step, this is from this print statement on line 13. Then down here, I've got my name is Katie. I am 30 years old. My favorite number is 12.0. Those are from these statements right here. And then these last couple are about the types. So from these three print statements, I'm printing that the type of my name variable is string. It's of the string class. The type of my age variable is an integer or int. And then the type of my fave number variable is a float. So this is kind of what I'm expecting to see when I download your scripts and run them myself. And also what I'm expecting to see in your screenshot as well. So let's say I'm done writing my lab. Now I'm ready to submit what I have. So I am going to print my screen. So I'm going to press my print screen button and I'm going to take a screenshot of, I mostly just need the console, but I'm personally taking a picture of the um, script itself and the console. Um, and then from there, I am going to open up Canvas. Oh, wow. So many of you have submitted that already. Nice. So I am going to go into student view and find the Lab 0 assignment. And I'm gonna, since I already did a demo of it in class, I'm gonna do a new attempt for you right now. So I want you to submit the screenshot. that was just taken, which I know is right here. And then I also need the script, which to do that, I just need this .py script. So come over here to the files and go to the right side of the script in the file organizer and click the menu and then just click download. And because I've downloaded this a couple times, it's showing that this is the third iteration of it. Because if you haven't caught on, we start counting from zero. So zero, one, two, that's three versions. Um, so I downloaded it and then I want to add, oopsies, I want to add this. And there it is. So before I submit, I'm making sure I've got my screenshot and I've got my .py file. And I'm going to click submit. And it takes a second and then it says that you submitted. Yay. And if you want to double check, make sure that you're getting all the points that you can get. I have a rubric right here. Um, Ignore the VS Code stuff. Those will just be given by default, since we're going to kind of work on that next week. If you'd like to work on it by yourself over the weekend, you may. Um, but yeah, I think that is all I wanted to cover with Lab0 and Replit. If you have any other questions about it, or if you're still having trouble with Replit, let me know. I have some office hours tomorrow and Friday. So in the syllabus, you can find a link to my Google Calendar scheduler and pick a time that works for you. And if none of them work for you, email me and we'll figure something out. Um, Again, I just want to reiterate, I know this is a lot. You'll be okay. Um, I will walk you through everything if you need more guidance. So please reach out if you need more guidance than this. Um, all right, I think that is it, and I will see y'all next week.